Eager young lads and roues and cads will offer you food and wine, totally unprepared.
One of the beautiful songs from The Sound of Music, and of course Leisl brings that emotional moment to us as Ralph is singing to her there. A beautiful, beautiful song, one of many. As most of you would know, The Sound of Music is my favourite musical of all time, both stage and film. It's one of those wonderful Rodgers and Hammerstein gems that never seems to date. Julie Andrews brought it to the silver screen for us, and it's regularly seen on television here in Australia as well. The Sound of Music opens in Melbourne at the Regent Theatre on May 13, and I thought today would be a great time to have a chat to Stefanie Jones, who plays Leisl. Stefanie, welcome in. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you, Lee. It's great to be talking to you.
Nice, fresh voice. Lovely to hear your voice too. It's really, really
Thank
nice.
You, and yours.
Are you enjoying the show?
Oh, gosh. I'm loving it so much. So much. It's such a joy to do every night. And it's such a joy watching our audiences get such joy from it. It's a classic, as you said, and everyone just loves it. We're all having a great time.
Stefanie, as I said, it's one of those shows that never dates, whether it's seen on stage or on film. It's just beautiful. And over the years, we've had that sing-along film version of it too, which goes around the country. And it's just been the most spectacular thing. What do you think its success is? Why do audiences gravitate to this after so many decades?
Yeah, that's a big question, isn't it? It's such a phenomenon. And maybe no one really knows why. We can try and figure it out. I mean, I had a good chat to Nicholas Hammond, actually. I interviewed him for our behind-the-scenes special, and he played Friedrich in the film.
Yes, he did, yeah.
And he, you know, seems to not be able to quite put his finger on it either. But I think it's just, it has so many wonderful themes that all of us can relate to, you know, love of family, love of country, and love of music. And that is what is so special, I think, the music. I think it's Rodgers and Hammerstein's best work. I think there's everything that they've written is beautiful, but nothing can top The Sound of Music. And everyone knows all the songs, and they want to keep hearing them, and it brings them such joy, and that's why people keep coming.
I think you're right. And I will put it down as being their best musical of all time. I mean, so we've got others like Oklahoma and so on, but and Carousel. It just goes on and on and on. But this one, for some reason, no matter whenever it screens, wherever it's on stage, and we've seen it on stage so many times, you just fill the theatres. People absolutely love it. Tell us about yourself, because you started out in theatre around about the age of 7, didn't you?
I did. I started out very young, and it was just an accident, really, that I fell into it. I was always into singing, and I've actually been a violin player since I was 4, so I've always loved music. And we had a family friend suggest to my mum that she take me to audition for Les Miserables, who was the 10th anniversary Australian tour, with the wonderful Rob Guest in the role of Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
And I happened to get in. It was a total surprise. And then I thought, oh, okay, I like this. I like this very much. And then it was the next year that Sound of Music was auditioning with Lisa McCune.
Yes, I saw it, yeah.
Yes, and I got cast in that. It was just such a surprise, and then it just really took off from there, and I wanted to do theatre all the time. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to do anything else. I just wanted to do theatre.
You had that love. Well, what was your training then? Did you go to the College of the Arts, or what did you do?
I did. I went to the Victorian College of the Arts. I'm actually from Brisbane, so I did move down to Melbourne after high school.
We won't hold that against you.
What's that?
We won't hold that against you.
No, please don't.
You're a Melburnian now.
If it helps, I was actually born in Melbourne.
Oh,
so
good on you.
I'm one of you, in a way.
Lovely.
So, yes, I studied there for 3 years, and I did my Bachelor in Music Theatre. And I always knew I wanted to study theatre. I applied to all the schools. I applied to WAPA, and I applied to NIDA, and I applied to some really great schools here in Queensland as well. And I was lucky enough to get into VCA. And I've been living there ever since. I love Brisbane very much, but there's not a whole lot here in terms of the arts. You really kind of do need to make that move to Melbourne or Sydney. That's where everything auditions. That's where they even cast a lot of like little things you wouldn't think about, like television commercials and stuff.
That's right, yeah.
So I've been living there ever since, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Melbourne to be in the Regent. It's such a beautiful theatre.
Oh, it is. When do you start rehearsals down here?
I start on Wednesday.
Oh, so soon, yeah.
Yes, we're all the new Von Trapp children, the 3 casts of kids that we have. We have 18 new children in each city, so they've already been rehearsing for quite a while without us. So I know that they're very excited for the rest of us to get there and to meet all of us and to finally have an older sister and to finally have a Maria and a captain.
Because 15 years ago you played the Little League, didn't you?
I played Brigitte.
Yeah,
so
Brigitte,
the third youngest one.
Yeah.
She's the best in my opinion. I quite like Brigitte. She's the one that really gets the captain and Maria to realise that they're in love. She gets them together. She's got a lot of great dialogue.
You were saying about coming down and meeting the junior cast members now and rehearsing with them. You take all locals from each state that you're in, obviously, to go and do these things. Yeah.
Yes, we do. It's a bit too hard to tour children because then you have to tour their parents, and then there's also you have to kind of make sure that they're still getting their education, and it's a really big ask. So and also there's the fact that they keep growing.
Well, they do. They do.
So we've got all these beautiful children at that age where they start to really grow. And the children in Sydney, quite a few of the Friedrichs were really starting to overtake me. We can't have the same children for our entire run.
No, not a good idea.
By the time we finish.
No, a 6-footer against whatever height you might be, and you wouldn't want that happening at all. But look, you've got a great part that you play. Leisl's, I think, a pivotal part of Sound of Music, and I love that scene with Ralph. I just played that 16 going on 17. That's such an emotional song when you think about it.
Oh, it is. It's so sweet. It's just two young children just trying to figure each other out and figure themselves out and figure out what love is and sharing their first kiss. Just, everyone has experienced that, so I think everyone really enjoys that number and enjoys watching that scene and watching how they communicate with each other. It's very endearing.
Tell me about the audition process for getting this part. How'd you go?
The audition was really lovely. All the auditions I did, I had a really good vibe every time I went into the room, which really, really helps, because sometimes if you're not getting a good vibe from the panel or you're very nervous, it really can hinder you. But I loved it from the second I walked in, and I felt really comfortable with the material, and I felt like the director and I understood each other very much, and he was giving me direction that I feel like I took quite well, and then I got through to the next round, and then the next round, and the next round, and then before I knew it, I was there on the final day, and they had flown a boy from Sydney to be my Rolf for the day, so he was down to the final two for Rolf. And it was Detoy, Bradenkamp, who got cast with me, and we were paired together, and as soon as I saw him, I thought, oh, this is good. Yeah, we're a good pairing, I think. I think we'd do really well together, and our audition went really well. And then the following week, we both got the call that we'd been offered the role. So it was perfect. It all went really well. It was a lot of fun.
And, of course, the big honcho with you is Cameron Daddo.
Yes.
How do you go with Cameron? I listen to him on Smooth FM at times, and he's got this beautiful, mellow sort of a voice. But he must be rather authoritarian in this.
He's wonderful to have around here. He's so good with the kids as well. They absolutely love him. He's just such a down-to-earth, easygoing, funny guy. He's really great to have. We all love having him around. He's always the joker and, wanting to make sure everyone's having a really good time. So he's a lovely energy. Well,
I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks to catch up with him too and have a chat to him because he's certainly, the brothers even, they're all great showbiz people and love to hear that he's doing this. Some of your other credits too, I saw online that South Pacific, you've been in that, of course, South Pacific. Television-wise, Neighbours, you had a part in Neighbours at one stage, Megan Dennison, I think it was.
Yes. Yeah, that was good fun. It was just a one-episode thing on Neighbours, but it's kind of a really, really exciting day when you get cast on Neighbours or Home and Away. Those are our TV shows. They're our favourites.
That's right.
All-time favourites in Australia. So it's really, really great to have one of those credits.
I think Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm wanting to get more into some film and television, but it is hard to kind of do that when you're in a long-running contract of a musical, but I do enjoy it very much.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think Home and Away and Neighbours, once you appear in that, it's sort of a place that you've made it. You say, gee, I've made it now. What's going to be next? Is the silver screen going to be next? And it's a launching pad for so many people to go to film, isn't it?
It really is. And I know when other casting agents see it on your resume, it's kind of like a big green tick, and you feel, yeah, I've done that. You can trust me to do this job for you now.
After Melbourne, where do you go to?
We go to Adelaide, to the Festival Centre, which will be really lovely.
That's
Last
nice
time
space.
I was there with South Pacific, though, we were there in the middle of a heat wave.
Oh, goodness.
It was just horrendous. And we'll be there at a better time of year this year, so hopefully we won't be.
It'll be a little cooler.
Passing out.
A little cooler, yeah. Well, look, it's been very, very dry down south, and you know that too, but very dry. We've got a showery day here today, and we really need some rain down in Melbourne. And it seems silly to say those things, but I think we've had about 1 or 2 days of rain in the last 6 weeks. So it's been...
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, it's been very, very dry down here. Very, very, very dry. Look, I do wish you well for your season down here in Melbourne. We'll be popping along to see it. And look, you sound like a lovely lady. The pictures I've seen of you online, a gorgeous face, and you just suit that part. I can see the movie as I look at your face. And
that's lovely.
And it's just so special to have someone such as you join us on the program here today, but also on stage at a beautiful space at the Regent Theatre. Wish you well for that. And
Thank you so much
we'll see you on the night.
I can't wait for you to see it. I hope you enjoy it.
I am. It's my favourite. I could not enjoy it. Yeah. Thanks for talking to us. Okay, Stefanie.
Oh, no worries. Thank you.
Bye-bye to you. Say hi to the cars for
Bye.
me. Okay, bye-bye to you. There she was, Stefanie Jones, playing Leisl in The Sound of Music.
Climb every mountain, search high and low.